Hi, and welcome to Achieve with Carolina. I'm Carolina Romanyuk, your pediatric sleep specialist. And today I wanted to talk to you about the transition from crib to big toddler bed. so, this topic is quite near and dear to my heart. And I actually wanted to mention to you specifically on several tips that I do recommend in when you are making this transition. And you want to make it as easy as possible. So, one of the things that I actually want you to consider is the fact that even though this transition usually occurs somewhere between 2 and 3 years old, you really want to wait as long as possible for your child to be closer towards 3 years. Specifically because that is when they're more mentally ready to understand the rules when they will be sleeping in a toddler bed. Imagine you're taking them from this cozy knit place that they have been sleeping in since birth, and it's their crib, and then it's closed off, and then you're transitioning them to a huge open space that can feel like a massive ocean to a toddler. So you want to make sure that when you are doing this transition, you are doing it at the perfect time for them, and that they are ready, that they understand the rules and the whole process of sleeping in a wonderful toddler bed. So sometimes at 2 years old, you'll start to notice that they are doing their little Houdini tricks. And what that would obviously entail is them throwing their leg over the rail and trying to escape. So, a couple of tips that you can utilize in keeping your wonderful Houdini baby in the crib nice and safe is one is you can try and use a sleep sack. So sleep sacks, they would have uh, the zippers are usually like up on top somewhere, like under the arms, but somewhere in a position where they can't open, that they can't unzip themselves. If they're not from the sides, then they're usually up in the front. What you can do is then take the sleep sack and reverse it, so the zipper would be on the back, and it would be very hard for them to open it up that way. Of course, they'll probably get really antsy about it, but then after some time they'll realize, okay, this ain't working. I'll go to sleep. The other thing that you can utilize is getting a really long, oversized T-shirt. So with that, sometimes I know families, they have never used a sleep sack before, so then they would get one, and then their child is like, okay, well, what the heck is this? Like, well, what did you just put on me? So that won't work either, because it would just reawaken them because they don't know what's going on. So they would use then an oversized T-shirt. Now with the oversized T-shirt, it helps with the fact that when they're trying to lift their knee over, the size of the T-shirt is so big that they can't pick up their knee to throw it over the rail to actually climb out of the crib. So that's good on that. But there's a big but. With my children and with some smarty pants clients, little clients that I've had in the past, they actually figured this part out. So what they would do is they would lift the shirt up, so then they would have their knees free, and then they would throw those knees over onto the rail of the crib, and then they would still climb out. So obviously that didn't work. And then we had our last resort, which was if you have those cribs where they have like one of the rails is like an arch shape. So that part is usually facing towards the wall, and what you want to do is you want to reverse your crib. So what happens is that the flat side is touching the wall, and then the lovely arch is going to be facing out. So then it would make it much more difficult for your child to come out that way. And obviously, one of the main ones that you can utilize is if you can either use like a baby monitor and kind of check them while if you're not in the room with them, to see if they are going to throw their leg over, and if they are, then what you would do is you would run into the room and you would go no, firm but sweet, but making sure that they understand your tone, that you're serious, that you mean business. Because if they're going to be roaming around, it's not going to stop them from going to the kitchen and making a salami sandwich. So you want to make sure that they're nice and safe in their perfect sleep environment. And once you start to transition into a toddler bed, which I suggest that you can wait closer towards 3 years of age, that once you do that transition, what would entail is the best thing that you can do is to create a set of rules for your toddler. So then they understand what to be expected of sleeping in a toddler bed. It's a gift. It means that they're going from baby to infant to toddler, that they're being a big kid, and you want to give them that as a gift. But with that also, you need to teach them that there are rules in order to stay protected in their bed. Because of course, once your child has an open space, what is going to stop them? For an example, if their toy falls off the bed and then they don't understand, and then they pick it up, and then they're like, I can get out of my bed. This is cool. So you don't want that to happen. You don't want to leave an open space for your child to have an open mind in what can happen once they can come out. So that's where a set of rules really, really work, and they do come in handy. So I do recommend you talking about that. And the other thing is to add on to that is your child should not only have rules, you should have rules for yourself. So when you're explaining to your child their set of rules for their toddler bed, you have to explain to them that you have rules for yourself in your bed as well. So it's, for an example, mommy has dinner, then she takes a bath, and then she reads a book, and then she goes to bed, and that's it. So for you, that's like your, quote unquote routine, for an example like that. And then your toddler would have their routine. So you would incorporate their routine and how they would go into bed, and then making sure that the rules that they fully understand within that. So those are my couple of tips on making a smooth crib to big bed transition. And of course, making sure that your child is fully understanding and that they're developmentally ready on moving on to the next step. So if you have any comments or questions for me, please feel to comment below. Or you can email me at itsme@achievewithcarolina.com. And also, if you have any kind of commentary on if you have actually transitioned your child from a crib to a big bed, how did it go? What kind of tips do you have if I haven't mentioned them so far? Please let us know. It would help a lot to other families. So talk to you soon. Have a good night, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye.